I am dead set on having this thing happen. So we're going to do the thing. Greetings, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that you are here. Today's nonsense is in Standard, and we are going to be playing a little bit of Ob Nixilis in a Cadillac. That's right, folks. The brand new Ob Nixilis, the Adversary card, 3 mana, 3 loyalty Planeswalker, +1. Each opponent loses 2 life, unless they discard a card. If you control a demon or devil, you gain 2 life. Then, you may -2. Create a 1/1 red devil creature token with, when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. And -7. Target player draws 7 cards and loses 7 life. So all things considered, this is a relatively mediocre Planeswalker with all of that text. However, there's another very key line on this text. Casualty X. And I think that makes this Planeswalker very powerful indeed. The casualty mechanic says, when you cast this spell, you may sacrifice a creature power X. When you do, copy this spell. And there is an additional line of text that says the copy isn't legendary and has starting loyalty X. So, the way that works is, if you have an Ob Nixilis, the Adversary, you cast it. While you are casting it, you may sacrifice a 2-power creature, let's say. That would make casualty X equals 2. So instead of Ob Nixilis, or Ob Nixilis the Adversary, the original will enter with 3 loyalty as it does its thing. The copy will also enter, non-legendary copy, and it will have 2 loyalty because X equals 2. But that is now a property of that token. So if we get in Esika's Chariot with another creature, crew it up, and attack, whenever Esika's Chariot attacks, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. That's right. You will copy the Ob Nixilis token at whatever that loyalty or casualty X was. So if you sacrificed 2-power creature and it entered at 2, the copy that you create will enter at 2. It does not matter what the loyalty of that Planeswalker currently is, just what it was when you casualtied it. So what other things are we doing? Well, we're doing some kind of Jund life-drainy style things, trying to play with Ob Nixilis' +1 ability. You know, we're trying to drain their life lower, and then hopefully kill them. So we're, doing some Oni-Cult stuff with Voldaren Epicure, sacrificing blood tokens, and Meathook Massacres, hopefully to add to that. And then just, a few other things like the Fable Mirror Breaker thing, and Ziatora's Envoy, one of the brand new cards, very, very strong, 5/4 trample, that can draw us extra cards. And then some Goldspan Dragon and some Wrenn and Seven as well, both to add some treasures for the black market value and things, as well as the Wrenn and Seven for creating tree folks that we can Esika's Chariot copy. So will it work? I don't know. We're trying something a little new. We're going to try this out in one of the brand new constructed events. They recently restructured them, so what the heck. We figured we'll give this a try in one of those events and see if we like making content there. So come on over. Let's have a look. All right, folks, here we are up against Tommy Pickles. Good luck, Tommy Pickles. And yeah, I think this is pretty good hand. We get to start on Rockfall Vale. Our opponent goes with an island. We go with a Deathcap Glade. The awkward thing about this is kind of the fact that our lands were a little bit tapped. Couldn't play them out quite the way we wanted. But that's okay. You know, it is what it is. We have Voldaren Epicure and an Oni-Cult Anvil, so, we're doing things. Admittedly, I feel like I should have attacked there first before casting the Oni-Cult Anvil. Kind of gave our opponent a little information, but it's, alas, not that big of a deal. So, our opponent goes with Faithful Mending in response. Looks like our chip damage is not going to be very efficacious here, with our opponent gaining a whole bunch of life, but, is what it is. So let's activate our Oni-Cult Anvil on the blood token to start the pinging process, get a little bit of aggression down, and yeah, okay. This time we do go ahead and do combat first. And try another Oni-Cult Anvil. Having 2 down would be very good. Try and get a bunch of extra chip damage in, but no. Negate happens. No Oni-Cult Anvil number 2. So we just go ahead, activate our first one, replace our token, and ping a little bit more. Opponent down to 16. They foretell. Well, most likely saw it coming, but could be Doomscar, could be, the draw card spell. So no big deal, though. Oni-Cult Anvil number 3. Opponent saw it coming again. All right, well, that was, in fact, saw it coming, so okay, fine. Oni-Cult Anvil gets reactivated. Our opponent down to 13. Tommy Pickles goes with a Hall of the Storm Giants and foretells again. All right, fine. So combat. Opponent. All right, let's go. We drop him down to 11. Activate our Oni-Cult Anvil. And go with a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Our opponent saw it coming. Okay, fine. But 5 mana, they still haven't done anything and they're on 10 life. So that is not particularly ideal. They go with March of Otherworldly Light on our Oni-Cult Anvil. Darn it, we've already used a whole bunch of those. That's the third one to go. But our opponent's life total quite low, down to 8. We will go ahead and slam an Esika's Chariot, creating 2 cats and giving us an onboard presence, hopefully setting up for an Ob Nixilis. That would be great. That would be a fantastic top deck, I think. Well, Meathook Massacre makes things interesting, doesn't it? Sure enough. Okay, so we're trying to decide how to navigate this because we know our opponent can gain at least 2 life, right? So we decide our opponent's probably going to be holding up some kind of removal is our best guess. Okay, yep. It is, in fact, the Wandering Emperor, as we feared, but it is what it is. Our opponent could have stopped the copying by exiling the target that we copied. They elected to just get rid of the Cadillac instead. We don't blame them. We will Bloodchief's Thirst, though, to make things more difficult. We did not get enough damage in to be able to Meathook Massacre for the win. But our opponent goes with Fairy who slows the sunset. And, yep, going to gain a couple more life, up to 10. Okay, fine. Well, next. Combat. And 8 at your face. Okay, opponent bounces, but that actually gives us the green light to win the game. So, GG. Tommy Pickles. GG. Getting our first win against blue-white control. Always a gratifying win when you're able to sneak one out from the control deck. Yeah, can't help but feel a little bit lucky because it so often just feels like they've just got it all the time, you know. Which, admittedly, it's not true, but it feels that way sometimes, you know. All right, Ephilios. Our opponent, and yeah, we've got another one of those lots of tapped land hands, but it is what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and play another tap land, play Voldaren Epicure. The unfortunate thing is our opponent has the turn 1 Hopeful Initiate. It's one of their better starts. We're assuming this is mono white. Sure enough, Usher the Fallen does confirm it. We take our 1, and yeah, don't really have a lot of good options. Don't really want to discard any of these because all we need is 1 more land, and boy, the Wrenn and Seven tokens and stuff, typically very, very good against what our opponent's doing, but oh no, Dane comes down. Suddenly the Wrenn and Sevens are very expensive indeed. We elect to trade with the 2/1. I feel like I was actually supposed to loot a Wrenn and Seven away that turn, but I didn't. As it turns out, it's okay because on the top is Oni-Cult Anvil. I think that was a little bit of a mistake, though. Ephilios goes with Cave of the Frost Dragon and Elite Spellbinder, and oh my goodness. Absolutely brutal here. Just taxes, and more taxes. Ain gets in, Hopeful Initiate gets in. We don't really have good blocks, so we take it, and our tap land comes back to bite us. No, Oni-Cult Anvil does a little more damage. We gain a little life. Inconvenient. Rydane also stonewalling our attacks, so we can't even really get a good clock down. And oh boy, it is getting out of control. They can now pull counters off the Hopeful Initiate and kill our Oni-Cult Anvil. So it's tempting to double block, but then they just won't pull them off this turn, and they'll wait, right? So we elect a single block and just accept our fate, but boom, here's Meathook Massacre, and I'm going to show you folks a trick. Goldspan Dragon, make some treasure, right? No, we actually really can't, because our opponents got us right where they want us. So we try and gain a little more life, and so we're trying to decide. It would have been great if we could have attacked or whatever, but really, really worrying that they would have the Wandering Emperor. In fact, they do. If they had the Wandering Emperor, they just kind of get to swing in for essentially lethal, but it turns out they also have the Brutal Cathar, so yeah. When they got it all, they got it all. And Ephilos, farming the event. Looks like they're going to find one. And I'm going to show you folks a trick here with the Meathook Massacre. No, no, no. You can't do it. You can't do it. Because of Riding. Right. I wanted to make sure to show you folks in the recording before conceding, because I knew some people would be like, why don't you just sweep the board? Just go X equals 3 at least, and everything will be fine. No, that's not going to do it. So, indeed. GG, opponent. GG. You got us. 1 win, 1 loss. Not quite where we wanted to be, but, you know, Mono White's a good deck. Can't complain too much. Let's see what our next round opponent has to say. It's Silmaril. Wonder if they're from the Silmarillion. I'm not sure. Well, yeah, this hand is fine. Going to start on our Voldaren Epicure. And we draw an Ob Nixilis. Thank heavens. Finally seeing the Ob Nixilis here. Ceaselessly annoying when you craft a deck to do a specific thing and then you never see the thing, you know? It's like, oh my goodness. But we draw the Chariot. Oh my goodness. All right, we're living the life. Unfortunately, our opponent has Generous Visitor, leading us to believe this is probably some kind of runes deck, right? So kind of running the gauntlet of tier decks so far, you know? Which is okay. I mean, you know, I think Ob Nixilis is strong enough to definitely fit into the meta somewhere, and probably it will be, I would think, with the Oni-Cult Anvil somewhere. So, you know, I'm not whining about that, but it is what it is. All right, so now we have a decision to make. And I elect to go for, not go for the Ob Nixilis here, because I don't think that's wise. I think we'll end up being punished for that decision. The Black Market Tycoon, though, is a mana rock, so it's very tempting to just play it out and then next turn be able to make a treasure. So the issue is, though, that's what the 2/2 also does, right? And this way, they'll be inclined to not want to attack as badly anyway, because they want to be able to block the 2/2. They don't want us being able to get in with impunity. So right or wrong, that's what they do. We go ahead and Esika's Chariot. And unfortunately, this Hallowed Haunting is looking scary indeed. Oh no, folks. Here comes another Generous Visitor. Touch of the Spirit Realm comes down. And counters just go everywhere. Just all over the stinking place. Yeah, and they get our Chariot. Decidedly inconvenient. And they pass the turn. Okay, that was good, though. That was good. Because we can suicide our 2/2 to get a treasure. Our opponent recognizes that. You know, likely recognizes what's going on there. But this will afford us the opportunity to get rid of all these Generous Visitors before they get completely out of hand. Opponent going to lose some life. We're going to gain some life. And, you know, try and live to see another day. Showdown of the Scalds. Ugh. Unfortunate. All right, Jukai Naturalist comes down. Also unfortunate. Now, here, folks, I think this is just greedy by me. I think it's supposed to be a Meathook Massacre. Spoiler alert, that's not the way this is going to go. I don't want to commit anything else to the board either, because we need to be all activated or Esika's Chariot. I just want to do the thing, darn it. I want to show you guys. I'm Nixilis, and the Esika's Chariot, but we were really hoping our opponent wouldn't have a bunch of runes in hand, because they had all those generous visitors. It turns out, yeah, they just they were sandbagging a ton of runes, and now my greed comes back to get me here. And it is 16 on the face, and 1 mana removal spell. That's great. So I could kill one of those clerics, and then X equals 3, which wouldn't do it. Or I could just X equals 4, which also doesn't do it. I could not do the thing. Yeah, all of this hurts my feelings. I'm a little frustrated. Mainly with myself, right? Just with the with my own greed. Admittedly, it would not have mattered because of what they had. They would have rebuilt, and our current life total would have been at whatever, like 9, but it would have been good enough for them to win anyway. So it's not a punt that ended up costing me, but I just wanted to show you the thing. Not like this. 1 win, 2 losses. Come on, baby. Let's rebound, shall we? All right. Waiting for an opponent. That's right. Moving into our 1 and 2 match. But Jasao. What say you, Jasao? Yeah, I think we're going to keep this one. Start on a Haunted Ridge. Progress into a pathway. Get down a Black Market Tycoon. These things are good. Oh, crud. Here comes a Rabbit Battery onto our noggin. Yep. Everything's proceeding according to plan currently. So can't complain too much. Really want to keep our Black Market Tycoon. And the good thing is, if our opponent's playing this aggressive, they may be inclined to let us keep it because they want us taking damage, right? So, okay. Create a treasure. Use that treasure to cast an Esika's Chariot. Esika's Chariot makes some dudes. Pass the turn. Really hoping for an untapped land next turn. Come on, baby. Deck, we're due for some good luck here. Lizard Blades. Oh, crud. Okay. Hey, there we go. Yes. Create a treasure. And sure enough, Wrenn and Seven. I'm going to go ahead and drop down a Tree Folk feller. And I don't really want to attack with those anyway, and I want to de-incentivize our opponent from killing them. So we're just going to do it like this. Our opponent can triple block here, and, you know, we go into this with full knowledge that could happen, but we're blown away by it. Absolutely shocked that they would want to do that, because the board presence currently is just absolutely crushing in our favor. Them giving up all of their equipments, they're clearly playing Gruul Modified, and sure enough, here's Kodama the West Tree. To prove that point, and boy, now we're just squarely ahead in every possible metric. More cards in hand, a dramatically better board presence, and they gave up their potential to win in an effort to not lose. Folks, we've talked about that somewhat in the past, about how there's a difference. You know, it's true. If you never lose the game, that probably means you won it. Not exclusively because the draws exist, but that probably means that. But when you're playing to not lose, there's plenty of times when you just won't be able to win then. And our opponent trading away all their board presence probably was a bit of a mistake because of that. Sure enough, they go with the Jugon Defense of the Temple and some Lizard Blades. We have the opportunity to discard some cards and draw that many. Sure enough, Wrenn and Seven just filled our hand. To give us cards to discard. A fantastic synergy there, if you ask me. I'm sitting here doing the math, and it's like, what the heck, man? There's nothing they can do. We can kill them several different ways. I wasn't intentionally BMing, but I guess it definitely turned out that way. But all right, so our opponent makes all these appropriate blocks. Yep. Takes damage down to 3, and we just Meathook. Clean up the board. And that's GG. All right, good game just now. Up to the 2-2 bracket. Not quite what we were hoping for, but in fairness, we still haven't seen the thing, darn it. We're playing for Chariot, we're playing for Ob Nixilis. Just give them to us at the same time, would you? Admittedly, I guess we did see them, not this past game, but the game before, and it, you know, we just didn't get a chance to deploy it, so I guess I can't blame the deck entirely. All right, our hand, real awkward here. No red mana at all. But elect to keep it because I figure, what the heck, we're due for some good luck. And we have the Bloodchiefs there. Sure enough, thank heavens, we do get the red mana. Very, very thankful for that. Usher the Fallen gets in. And yeah, we're planning on trading here. Opponent, what are you going to do? Give Valor a stance? You got it. Good Lord. Sign me up for that. All right, Fable and Mirror Breaker, come on down. Create a treasure-producing goblin. A Captain Lannery Storm goblin, or whatever the heck that thing is supposed to be called. And Andrew T123, considering their next move, goes with Skyclave Apparition on our Fable and Mirror Breaker. Not thrilled about that. Is what it is. So we're going to go with the Voldaren Epicure. And yeah, I think we're still going to get in. Yeah, I was going to say, our opponent pretty incentivized to not block. We're trying to get them to maybe commit just a little bit more to the board, because they have 5 cards in hand. Yeah, okay, here we go. Admittedly, we were hoping to get them enough to commit enough to the Meathook Massacre, but as it turns out, we really need to get rid of that Adeline, so that's fine. But that's one of those tools that we really, really want to make sure we get rid of. And we go ahead, deploy our own Oni-Cult Anvil, get that draining started. We go back up to 16, they drop to 13. Skyclave Apparition Numero Dos. And Skyclave Apparition gets in. Alright, well, fine. So we're going to get in with the team. Opponent takes the free block, unsurprisingly. No, they don't get in their... they start playing in their own head. So we go Meathook X equals 3 because we don't want to, you know, lose to any kind of cheeky pump spell that we're not expecting or something like that. And we're not going to spend the mana anyway. So, Skyclave Apparitions give us back our tokens. Opponent drops to 8, we go to 17, and things are looking pretty good, but our opponents still have 4 cards, and they have a lot of powerful magic cards over there. Alright, Brutal Cathar does his thing, gets rid of our 3-3. We don't much care for that. So, we're just going to go directly to combat and attack with our 2-2. Our opponent, unsurprisingly, does not want to trade. And we just go with Esika's Chariot and the Oni-Cult Anvil using our final treasure there. Oni-Cult Anvil does a little ping, opponent drops to 5. We have 7 power in play, plus the Esika's Chariot threatening to make more. Thalian Guardian of Thraben. Okay, well, that's a good one, for sure. The Spellbinder is also a good one. Admittedly, we don't have any cards in hand, though, so that makes it much less good. But, not going to dwell on that one too much. Just going to get in with the Esika's Chariot and the 2-2. Elect to, you know what? Let's make a copy of the 1-1. Why would we do that, folks? Well, the answer is actually quite easy. We were doing that because our opponent's life total relatively low here. We know they want to do some amount of trading with our creatures, and the Meathook Massacre is going to cost them. If they do what we expected them to do, we would just want to be able to Oni-Cult Anvil and finish the job, which we do. So, GG, Andrew. GG. All right, folks, and let's head into the next game then. Hopefully... into a winning match. That's what we're hoping for here, anyway. That's what we're hoping for. Our opponent, Tyler VG. Good luck, Tyler VG. And, I mean... okay. You know? It's a fine hand. It does the thing. Admittedly, it's kind of slow and... doesn't do anything other than the thing. But darn it, I am dead set on having this thing happen. So we're going to do the thing. No matter what. All right, we don't have a creature to casualty away. So we just cast naked Ob Nixilis, the adversary here. Make a dude. Our opponent Fading Hopes the dude. So fine. We're just going to go ahead and go up. Cause our opponent to lose some life unless they do a little bit of discarding. We cast Fable Mirror Breaker. They go Memory Deluge. Fable Mirror Breaker resolves. We get one of the treasure-making fellows and a Voldaren Epicure. Opponent takes 1 down to 17 and gets the turn back. Fistful of magic cards. Up to 5 mana in any number of different combinations. And there is a Hive of the Eye Tyrant over there ready to be activated. Our opponent, of course, doesn't. But we're now presented with the opportunity to discard cards for Fable and Mirror Breaker, and it's a tough one. We do eventually do it because we don't see these cards as being highly valued in the matchup. But, you know, it was not an easy decision. Our opponent does elect to take damage from the Ob Nixilis and goes with Faithful Mending, drawing a couple of cards, going to discard a couple of cards up to 17. The good news here, folks, is they did this pre-combat, as soon as we went to combat, because they wanted to stop our 2/2 from attacking and generating treasures. That does free us up to just slam that Esika's Chariot, and this is what we've been hoping for this whole time, folks. We've been trying to make this thing happen. Doomscar, no! Hey, Fable Mirror Breaker flips over. We're gonna make a dude, and you know what? Still gonna casualty. Yep. Sacrifice the devil creature we do. Get a pair of Ob Nixilis and tick them both, or activate both abilities. We tick the first one up, and then we tick the second one up. After a brief deliberation, was considering putting a 1/1 down, but then I thought, well, shoot, man, what happens if they sweep the board again, or whatever? So our opponent goes with Professor Onyx, which is a 2 loyalty planeswalker now, so we just slam Ziatora's Envoy, which is a 5/4, and able to crew up Esika's Chariot all on its own. And folks, we're doing it! We're doing it! Going after Professor Onyx after a little deliberation, and get to copy our Ob Nixilis, the adversary. We are now on 3 Ob Nixilis. We go up. I'm trying to click there, and it wasn't registering my clicks for some reason. Sometimes that last planeswalker doesn't. I had to kind of go up there at the corner and get the activation finally. Our opponent just will not discard cards over there and just taking a whole bunch of damage from it, and it ends up losing the game because of it. GG, Tyler, GG. Moving on to the next game. We are now up to 4 wins. Feels good, man. And just a pair of losses. All right. Let's see what our next opponent is. Mr. Mayhem. Good luck, Mr. Mayhem. Oh boy. All right, folks. I mean, it's got the thing in it. You know, we're doing the thing. We even draw another Chariot. That's another. There's a second Chariot kind of there behind me there. So this is definitely a hand we need to keep. Unfortunately, our opponent was on the play. Goes with Hopeful Initiate on 1 and Luminar Casper on 2. Very likely the best possible start you could ask for. We draw into a Ziatora's Proving Ground, but don't have a 2-drop yet. And the opponent goes with likely the next best possible card for the situation, which is Luminar Casper number 2. And then you got Seat of the Empire. Well, okay, finally. We have enough mana to start doing things. Yes, we just go with Ob Nixilis without additional accoutrement because we need to stop the bleeding. Not feeling good about this. Intrepid Adversary comes down, pumps the team. They attack. They don't care about our Ob Nixilis. They just don't care, folks. They just don't care. We lose a whole chunk of life. And Esika's Chariot go up. Prayer opponent can't find lethal. Okay, Homestead Courage. Disconnect. Opponent, please. Don't kill us. Oh. Well. No disconnect. So GG. Darn it, folks. Mono white three times. They beat us twice. We beat them once. We got a little bit of vengeance, but they still got the better of us. It turns out, like, we lost to runes once and mono white twice. So that isn't the standard experience. I don't know what is. Well, so we claim our prizes. That's pretty okay. Let's check out the pack. What did we get here? Looks like a Gala Greeters, which is a fine consolation prize, to be sure. And can't complain about that. So let's go check out the wrap-up. All right, folks, we are back. And honestly, the deck did really well. I can't complain. Ended up going 4-3 in the event, which our payout, it cost us 375 gems to enter, and we earned 300 gems back, but then we also got a pack. So, like, we got a discounted pack, I guess? You know, it turned out to be a 75 gem pack, which is a good deal, right? Normally they're, whatever, I think, are they 300 gems a piece, I think? So it's a fine reward. As far as that is concerned, though, we also went up against a lot of meta decks there. We went up against blue-white control, and we won. We lost to mono-white, lost to runes, won against Gruul modified, won against mono-white, won against Esper control, and then lost to mono-white. Like, in the old events, folks used to really like them because in the early rounds, sometimes you'd see some, you know, really off-meta brews and things like that. Well, that was not our experience so far. Hopefully, as people are made aware of the different constructed events and stuff, maybe more people will get involved, and maybe that will be true. But currently, it's just one tier 1 deck after another. And if your deck can't stand up to the actual tier 1 decks, it doesn't seem like a good investment to go after the constructed event. So, you know, I don't know how often we're gonna actually do this for the YouTube channel, but it was a fine trade this time, at least. So, you know, had a good time and played it. As far as other things you might do for the deck, honestly, I don't know. We never even one time activated Reflection of Kiki-Jiki. Not in one of our matches. Strong card. And there are several things that we would like to have been able to copy, but none of them that would have been backbreaking. So believe it or not, I think we might be able to do better than the Fable here. The Oni-Cult Anvil, Voldaren Epicure style plan, backed up by Black Market Tycoon. Remember, folks, you can create treasures every turn with this, and then you pay life for each treasure you control at the beginning of your turn. Well, okay, if you can Oni-Cult Anvil and get rid of the treasures. So, it seemed fine, and I think it does go well with Ob Nixilis and Meathook Massacre, but I don't know that it's quite what this deck wants. So maybe this whole package that we've seen be so successful with some of these other cards in the past, maybe we could upgrade this package somehow. It's also possible maybe we just want these things and not that. It's also possible the Ziatora's Envoy isn't doing enough for us. We never actually connected with it. It's very, very good because it does crew Esika's Chariot all on its own. So even if we sweep away or they sweep away our cats, we can just slam a Ziatora's Envoy, animate an Esika's Chariot, and go from there. It also does get us, you know, not just cards to our hand, but potentially free spells by being able to cast them off the top of our library, essentially. So I think it's good. I would like to play with it some more, and maybe if you folks do, you could tell me how it goes. But all told, you know, the deck did fine as it was, so I don't think it's a earth-shattering decision that you've got to, you know, just revamp the entire deck or anything, you know. But let me know if you do end up crafting something similar to this, how it goes, and maybe we can collide some of our ideas together and make something work. That said, I appreciate you all. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. And I will catch you all next time.